So Miriam speaks Lashon Hara about Moshe. She gets Sarat. What's her reward? Everybody has to wait for a week until Miriam is healed. Now we can travel. The Tosfos explained it's a midah keneged midah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu works in a measure for measure fashion. Miriam spoke, and she had saras, but since she waited for Moshe, now we're going to wait for her. See, she waited about 15 to 20 minutes for Moshe, says the Tosfos, and therefore we have to wait for a full week, because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu's midah toiva is 500 times greater than midah asra. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu pays up 500 times more than what you did. You waited 15 to 20 minutes times 500, that's 10,000 minutes. That's a whole week that Klal Yisrael have to wait for Gevaldik. Is that a reward? It's a punishment. Remember the Reuven and Shimon we spoke about before? Reuven says to Shimon, when are we driving again? I don't know. We're waiting for Rebbetzin and Miriam. No, she has saras. We have to wait until she's healed. Everybody is talking about her for a whole week. Oh, do you know why we're still here? Because Miriam, the tzaddik is here, Moshe's sister, she got sarat. Why? She spoke Lashon Hara. Shh, what a beautiful reward. So for a whole week, everybody can be talking about you. What a tzaddik you are that you got saras because of your Lashon Hara. Such a big reward. Wouldn't it be better to keep things quiet? Because Baruch Hu should punish her instead of saras with something else, or keep her away. Nobody needs to know. Then send a messenger on a clouds of glory, whatever, bring her back to the camp. But why everybody has to wait and talk about her for a whole week? Where is the reward in that? It sounds like the biggest punishment and embarrassment to Miriam.
Because people will have to wait before.
In order to understand what you're saying, we're going to tell a story. Where the Ridbaz lived was the city of Slutsk. The Ridbaz was the Rav of Slutsk, then he went to Chicago, and then he moved to Tzfat. About 100 years ago.
When is this?
About 100 years ago. So in his city, there was once a Meiser. A secular doctor, very secular doctor, very secular doctor, goes for a little walk Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, 7 o'clock. He goes by the butcher. Thursday, by the butcher, is the busiest time of the week. And he saw this frum butcher kicking everybody out of his store at 7 p.m. This is so weird. He goes to the butcher and says, hey buddy, you're kicking your parnasa away. What are you doing? Everybody wants to buy meat for tomorrow and you're sending them away. What are you doing? So the butcher says to him, I'm rushing to shul. I don't want to miss mincha. I don't want to be late. You know, parnasa is very important, but parnasa is from Shamayim. I have to take care of my oilam haba. And the doctor says to him, oilam haba. There's no such thing. What's the shalom? What are you saying? He says, oilam haba, there's no such thing. So the butcher says to him, listen, maybe you are not going to have any oilam haba. I'm trying to work and increase the size of my oilam haba. The doctor continues to make fun of him, and he says to him, you know what? I have an offer for you. If you want to increase your size of your world to come, would you like to buy my part? I'll give it to you for 1 ruble, $1. That's a great deal, of course. The butcher takes out a dollar bill, he gives it to him, and he says, now I'm the owner of your share in the world to come. He says, yes. They shake hands. Ad kana kofe aleph. Years passed. One day, a distinguished looking woman comes into the butcher, and she says, I am the widow of Dr. So-and-so. Do you know him? No idea. So she says, I know the whole thing is nonsense. What whole thing? What are you talking about? She says, my husband recently died. And he came to me in a dream. And he said the strict judgment upstairs is very, very harsh. And they wanted to throw me in Gehenna forever. And the doctor says, I told him, what about all my mitzvahs? I saved so many lives. I even treated poor people free of charge. That doesn't count for anything? And they said, it does count. It carries a lot of weight. And that would tilt the scales in your favor. But since you went ahead and you sold your share in the world to come, you don't get to go to the world to come. So the doctor tells her in the dream, I convinced them to allow me to send you as a messenger to try and convince this butcher to sell me back, to cancel the deal, sell me back my share in the world to come. Please, 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 go to the butcher and try to convince him. So she says to the butcher, the first time I had this dream, I figured, crazy dream. But then it reappeared the second time. And the third time, so I figured, I gotta check this out. You gave me your address and your name. But now that you're saying you don't know who the doctor was, I know the whole thing is just dreams. He says, wait a second. I remember that. Of course I remember that. You're saying the name of the doctor. I had no idea who he is. But I definitely remember that. Years ago, there was a doctor who came here, made fun of me, and of Olam Haba, and I bought his share in the world to come. She says, oh, do me a favor. Do my husband a favor. Please, cancel the deal. I'll give you back your ruble, your dollar, and give me back my husband's share in the world to come. And he says, no. So why not? He says, I'll tell you the truth. I'm a very simple Yid. Very simple Yid. I don't think I have a big share in the world to come. I don't have time to learn. Don't do too many mitzvahs. But now that I see that they appreciate upstairs the doctor's share in the world to come, I'm definitely holding on to it. Why would I go back on a deal which is great? The guy didn't want it. He sold it to me. It's fine. Not interested. She's pleased with it. Please, please, please. She says, no, not interested. She didn't know what to do. She went back home. That night, her husband came again in a dream. And he says to her, if the guy refuses to give it back to me, take this case to the Ridbaz, to the chief rabbi of the city, and sue him in a Beis Din. The following morning, she goes to shul, waiting for the Ridbaz when he comes out of Shachis, and she says to him, Rebbe, my name is so-and-so. My husband passed away. He was a doctor. She tells him the whole Maaseh. And my husband told me that I should take this butcher to Beis Din. Please, arrange for Beis Din. The Ridbaz heard all this. He says to her, today it's 5 p.m. We're going to have a Beis Din. Please announce to the whole city, everybody should come. The shul was packed up. Everybody came. This is a very rare case. And everybody wanted to see what's going to transpire. The Beis Din starts. He says to the widow, so what do you have to say? She says the whole Maaseh again. Her husband came to her in a dream, and the butcher verified this is true. And the husband is a terrible dinei shamayim, terrible. And he just wants back what was his. The Ridbaz looks at the butcher and says, no, what do you have to say? And the butcher says, listen, I understand, but with all due respect, the guy came to me and made fun of Olam Haba. He didn't believe in it. He sold it to me. I bought it. We shook hands. I'm not sure about my size of my share in the world to come. Now I think it's bigger. There's no reason that I should cancel the deal. The Ridbaz announces a half an hour break. We'll come back, me and the other two Dayanim, and we'll give up Psak Din. He goes to his office, and everybody's there, thousands of people. Each person says, what a chutzpah, he's so cruel, the doctor, let him sell it back. And I says, why? The doctor was secular, couldn't care less about Olam Haba, made fun of him, of Olam Haba. He's right, he shouldn't count. Everybody has his opinion. Half an hour later, the Ridbaz comes in. We reached a verdict. The verdict has 3 parts. First part, the sale is nullified, batel umevutal, it's cancelled. And all those people in the crowd who said, he's cruel, he is wrong, he should give it back, they're all cheering. We were right. And the Ridbaz explains, what is the reward for Torah and for mitzvahs, all the schusim that one has? It's a light created from what you did. You can't transfer that light to someone else. You hire a worker to schlep for you things. He does so for a week. Not only did he schlep for you things and he got a compensation, $500, he also became stronger, more fit because of the work that he did for you. So if he wants, he can transfer those $500 to someone else, but can he transfer his new regained strength in his muscles to someone else? That's something that accompanies him. When you do Torah mitzvahs, when you do Kodesh Baruch Hu's will, you have a spiritual strength, which is only associated with your neshama. You can't give it to anyone else. It's not shayach. And therefore, the deal is cancelled. Part 2 of the Psak Din. The doctor lost his share in the world to come. even though we canceled the deal and he gets his share back, the doctor loses his share in the world to come. And the Ritbaz explains. There's a pasuk in Yechezkel, Perek Lamed Gimel, pasuk Yud Beis. The pasuk says, "Ve'ata ben Adam emor el bnei amecha." Kodesh Baruch Hu instructs the Navi. Tell the people, "Tzidkas hatzadik lo tatzilenu b'yom pisho." The fact that a person has a lot of schusim, a lot of good things that he did, will not help him on the day, Chazal explained in Kiddushin Daf Mem, when he regrets what he did. It's called toihe al harishonis. A person says, why did I waste so much time and effort doing mitzvahs? What a waste of time. A person who regrets doing mitzvahs loses those mitzvahs. In Sanhedrin Daf Tzadi Amud Aleph we learn, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek ha'olam haba. Everybody has a share in the world to come, except those who don't. Everybody likes to quote the first part of the Mishnah, but the Mishnah continues. Those who don't believe in the world to come don't get to go to the world to come. This doctor made fun of the world to come, didn't believe it exists, so he doesn't get to go there. And everybody in the crowd says, wow, that's so weird. Can it be that everybody loses out? The doctor loses out because the sale is canceled. The doctor loses out because he doesn't get to go to the world to come. A funny psak din. The Ritbaz announces, part 3 of my psak din. The doctor will go to the Olam Haba. Anybody wonders, you just said that he loses his share in the world to come. But the Ritbaz explains, there was such a Kiddush Hashem that came out as a result of this Maaseh. After his death, he acquired such a big schus, the biggest schus ever. Because now everybody sees there is a Kodesh Baruch Hu, there is a Din and there is a Dayan, there is judgment upstairs. There is a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And no Maaseh that one does goes uncounted for. Nothing. Chazal say in Yuma Peizayin Amud Aleph, one who's mezake es harabim doesn't go to Gehenna. Chazal say in Pirkei Avos, one who's mezake es harabim, the schus belongs to him. Here, the schus belongs to the doctor. Because of this doctor, everybody saw there is a Kodesh Baruch Hu out there. There is judgment upstairs. And for that, we decree down here that he does have a share in the world to come. The butcher still tried to, Rebbe, I also have a part in this Kiddush Hashem. I should also get a part. I don't know if the Ritbaz gave him a part, half, I don't know. But with that we can explain the reward of Miriam. From back then, when she sinned, and until today, everybody learns about the severity of Lashon Hara. Whom did she speak about? A man who couldn't care less. Moshe Rabbeinu is a tzaddik, he doesn't even care that she speaks about him. And yet she was severely punished a whole week, tzaras. Since then, everybody in Klal Yisrael says a pasuk every single day. It's one of the 6 remembrances. It's printed in many Sidurim after Shachis to say this every single day to remember. Klal Yisrael learns Shmiras HaLashon, Chofetz Chaim. Why? Because of Miriam. Mimele, that is a reward, just like you were saying. The reward is, can't even count it. Every single day, Klal Yisrael are occupied with this mitzvah called Lashon Hara, refrain from it because of Miriam. And that is her great reward.